Welcome to the Adventist and the University of Roehampton orientation video. We are glad to have you on board with us in Adventist. Today I'd like to share the important things that you need to take note of during your study. This is our agenda for today. I'll start off with Adventist information first and then move on to the University of Roehampton later. In Adventist, we aim to be a leading provider of quality education in Singapore. We recognize the significance of human capital development and are committed to uphold the quality of teaching, learning and service to all our students. Professionalism, integrity, customer care, communication, and commitment are our organization values. If you have any questions regarding academic or technical issues, feel free to email student services at adventistglobal.edu.sg or call our office number during 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for assistance. The staff in charge will respond to your queries within 3 working days. Each module has around 4 lessons per month. For more information, please refer to the study schedule. Lessons are conducted from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, a copy of the latest updated class schedule can be downloaded from our website. Other useful student resources such as the orientation slides are also available on the website. Please ensure that you arrive promptly and punctually for class. Classes will be on Saturdays and Sundays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will strongly advise you to attend all lessons. Students are recommended to maintain 75% attendance. All students are required to sign in and out on the attendance register file during the start and end of classes. In the event that you are unable to attend class, submit a leave application form to the student services at our email. The following table are the reasons for leaves of absence accepted by the school: compassionate leave, medical leave, and business overseas trip. A copy of the leave application form can be downloaded on the Adventist website. Refer to your student PI contract to check on your school fees. Payment can be made via different methods such as iBanking, mobile banking, ATM transfer, checks written to Adventist School of Management Private Limited, cash over the bank counter or here in the office, telegraphic transfer, and nets to which there will be a 3% admin fee incurred. After you are done, please send a screenshot of the successful transfer for our record for the generating of official receipt. You can email the picture to Student Services. So this is Adventist bank account information if you want to make payment through check or bank transfer. As stated by the school refund, withdrawal and transfer policy, the aggregate amount of fees paid by students may vary accordingly with when the student's written notice of withdrawal is received. In the event that you have any feedback, concerns or issues, please contact Student Services via email at studentservices@adventistglobal.edu.sg. We will investigate and resolve the areas of concern within 21 working days, depending on the complexity of the case. Student Services will send a survey link to students for the online evaluation. Students may also fill out the survey based on the link below. Our response will remain strictly anonymous. Module survey is a survey that is required to be completed at the end of every module. Course survey is the survey that is required to be completed after you completed all of your 8 modules. You also need to do the pre-courses counseling survey when you are accepted into the course. Roehampton Moodle is the university's learning platform, which can be found at the link provided. You can visit this link or search Roehampton Moodle Guide on YouTube or watch our video Guide of Roehampton Moodle. For students who have yet to receive their Moodle login details, a Dropbox link containing materials for the first module will be sent to you via email. Next, you'll move to the Roehampton Students Induction. Please refer to the agenda below. So let me tell you more about Roehampton and its accolades. Based on Times and Sunday Times University League Table 2016, Roehampton is one of the top 12 universities in London. Roehampton is also regarded as one of the top 52 universities in the UK for research intensity by the Research Excellence Framework in 2014. Roehampton has an excellent research profile with 66% of our research rated as world-leading or internationally excellent. According to QAA, Roehampton is also the most research-intensive modern university in the UK. We have a proud history in higher education, stretching back 175 years through our 4 colleges. Roehampton's vibrant alumni community ensures that we will be with you throughout your career, helping you to build the networks you need to succeed. So Roehampton's visions and values are collegiality, equality, diversity, global outlook, challenging, inspiring, and supportive of students. So here's a list of the modules you'll be studying. For Master of Business Administration, you'll be studying International Management and HRM, Cross-Cultural Management, Brands and Brands Management, Management Research Methods, and so on. For International Management or HRM, you'll be studying contemporary issues in International HRM, cross-cultural management, and international financial management, and so on. International Management and Marketing students will be studying organizations in the business environment, international financial management, international management and human resource management, management research methods, and so on. All academic policies can be found in the link below. So moving on to accessing resources. So every module in the Moodle site will have a LTAF plan, presentation slides, seminar activities, and links to electronic journals and ebooks. You may independently organize to use local libraries in Singapore. So what's the difference between Moodle and Student Portal? Moodle is the platform where students can download learning materials, submit assignments, view the similarity index, and view the provisional results. The provisional marks in the Moodle is not your confirmed grade. The provisional grade may or may not change depending on the university moderation outcome and the university assessment board. As for the Student Portal, it is the platform where the final grades will be published after the moderation and the academic board. Advantage will send login details to students. All students are given a condone if their marks fall within the condonable range of 40 to 49 marks. It is then the student's responsibility to actively decline the condone and accept the receipt by informing Advantage within 2 weeks of the exam board. All students who do not send the email within 2 weeks period will be granted condone. A condone means that you may get your certificate and your transcript, but your field mark will appear within the transcript. Keep in mind that this will only apply to one module. For students with 0 to 39 marks, after students receive the receipt decision from the student services, student will need to liaise with the student services for payments and submission deadlines. For students with 40 to 49 marks, after the student decides that they will reject the condone and take the receipt, the student must inform the student services immediately. Student needs to liaise with the student services as usual for the payments for submission deadlines. For receipts, student services will inform the administrator and the administrator will create the receipt box for the student in the Moodle. The maximum mark for your assignment is 50 marks. If the student happens to fail their receipt, the student will be required to remodule. As usual, the student will need to liaise with the student services for the payments. Kindly take note that the fee for the remodule is higher than the receipt. Then the student services will need to send a schedule to inform students when the next module will be offered. A remodule means that the student will need to attend classes and submit assignments again. The maximum mark for your assignment is 50 marks. Regarding the submission of work for assessment, except for the provisions of Section 17, students are expected to submit all work for assessment at the first scheduled opportunity after registering for a given module. There will be a penalty on work which is submitted after the deadline or after the revised deadline in the case of a student who has been granted an extension under the provisions of Section 16 as follows. First, where the student submits work up to 2 p.m. UK time, 7 calendar days after the deadline. The percentage mark for the component of assessment will be capped at 50% for modules at level 17. Number 2, where the student submits work after 2 p.m. UK time, 7 calendar days after the deadline. The percentage mark for the component of assessment will be set to 0. For the submission of work for assessment, assignment deadline is clearly stated in the assessment brief. Assignments which are submitted late but within 7 university days of the submission deadline will be capped at the minimum pass mark at 50%, if the work is judged to be of the required pass standard. Work that fails to make the minimum standard will be recorded with the actual mark. Assignments submitted after the 7 university days will be treated as non-submissions and given a mark of 0. Please take note that the submission deadline is at 2 p.m. UK time. All assignments must correctly be referenced using the Harvard referencing system. Moving on to the grading system. For modules at level 7, an outcome of pass with a percentage mark will be recorded where students has gained a mark of 50% or above overall and in any components of the module assessment that carry an individual pass requirement. The Program Examinations Board may condone a mark in the range of 40 to 49% in the component of the module assessment that carries an individual pass requirement if it is satisfied that the student has achieved the learning outcomes for the module and the student has nonetheless gained a mark of 50% or above overall. For modules at level 7, an outcome of fail with a percentage mark will be recorded where the student has gained a mark of 49% or below overall, or in any components of the module assessment that carry an individual pass requirement subject to the provisions of number 3. Next, you have awards classification. Master degrees are classified on the following scale from average mark, which has been reached using the relevant calculations as below. Distinction 70 to 100%, merit 60 to 69%, pass 50 to 59%. The Program Examinations Board will confirm a student's eligibility for the receipt of a component of assessment that has been failed or retake of a module. A receipt is defined as an additional attempt of an assessment without attendance. A retake is defined as a restudy of the module with attendance, including the completion of all assessments for that module. A student who has failed the module assignment overall on the first attempt will normally be permitted one opportunity to resit the failed components of the module assessment without further study, subject to availability. There will be a penalty on the receipting the assessment of a failed module unless the Program Examinations Board determines that the student may receipt without penalty under the provisions of the Mitigating Circumstances Policy. The percentage mark for each previously failed component of the module assessment, rather than for the module overall, will be capped at 50% for modules at level 7. A student whose academic performance has been or is likely to be impaired because of ill health or other significant reasons may ask for this to be considered by the Program's Examinations Board under the provisions of the Mitigating Circumstances Policy. A student may apply on grounds of mitigating circumstances for an extension to the deadline for assessment in one or more components of a particular module. The extension may only be granted where the mitigating circumstances and supporting evidence are judged to be sufficient. The assessment process, including the consideration of recommendations by the relevant university board, can be completed within 3 months of the normal end date of the student's program. The application for an extension should be submitted sufficiently in advance so that the student will still have the opportunity to undertake the assessment at the normal time if the application were to be refused, and must be submitted before the date and time of the assessment in question. The Program Examinations Board may exceptionally accept an application after the deadline if it is satisfied that the student could not, with reasonable diligence, have disclosed his or her circumstances at the appropriate time. Applications and supporting evidence must be submitted to the department office which is responsible for the module in question, using the appropriate pro forma and in accordance with the Mitigating Circumstances Policy. To request an extension to an assessment submission deadline, you need to send the Mitigating Circumstances form together with the supporting documents to the Student Services. The Student Services will forward it to the administrator in the UK and will let you know of the outcome of your request. You are advised to submit your request as soon as possible or at least 5 working days before the submission deadline. So the following is a table of mitigating circumstances approved by university and their supporting documents. So what happens to the work after submission? First, standards and expectations are set for the marking before your work is collected. Next, your work will be assessed against the criteria by an expert in the subject area. Moving on, internal moderation will be conducted where consistency marks and feedback are checked. After that, they will go through moderation at Roehampton, basically sending your work for review by the Roehampton linked tutors. Next, samples of work will be sent to independent external examiners to review standards, after which your mark and feedbacks will be released. As a rule, academic judgment and marks cannot be challenged by students except for the grounds that can be found in the next slide, and this ground needs to be supported with actual evidence. Academic appeals are considered according to the university's academic regulations and must meet at least one of the university's 3 acceptable grounds for appeal as the following. 1. That there were procedural irregularities or administrative errors which are sufficient to cast reasonable doubt on the overall fairness of the decision or which have resulted in the decision being recorded incorrectly. Number 2, that the student's academic performance was substantially affected by circumstances which are unknown to those making the decision and which the student could not with reasonable diligence have disclosed before the decision was made. Number 3, that there is evidence of prejudice or bias against the students on the part of one or more individuals involved in making the decision, which is sufficient to cast reasonable doubt on the overall fairness of the decision. Students must fully complete the academic appeal form, supplying supporting evidence and submit it to unisec at roehampton.ac.uk. Send a carbon copy to the administrator, Berlin, at asm.edu.sg. If the appeal form has not been completed in full or appropriate supporting evidence is not supplied, it will be classed as incomplete and the appeal will not be processed. Academic appeals must be submitted within 2 weeks of the formal notification of the decision appealed against. Appeals received after the deadline would not normally be considered. For more information about the appeal process, please refer to this link below. So how will we be helping with your assessments? By sharing the assessments at the start of each module, clearing assessment briefs, providing the marking criteria for every module, formative feedback activities to check your understanding, feedback on a one-page overview of your assignment plan, and the opportunities to ask questions will be given. Suspected academic offense, also known as SAO, can be in the form of plagiarism, collusion where two or more students work together for the assignment that should be done individually, cheating, ghostwriting, and etc. So what happens if my similarity index is too high? Based on the discussion with the module leader, students could be considered not guilty and nothing will happen, fail from the module and required to take a resit, required to remodule, expelled from the program, and all other decisions based on the discussion with the module leader. If your similarity index is high, the administrator will inform you the disciplinary officer would like to invite you for the interview with your lecturer to find out more about this. Please take note that you need to prepare all the documents or evidence on this. Depending on the case, you need to prepare your email, lecture notes, or all other documents when you come for an interview. You also need to prepare all the documents as requested by the module leader as well. Then, the disciplinary officer will consider on the outcome. The outcome can be found in the previous slide. If they need further investigation, the administrator will contact you on this. So how do you check your similarity index and how do you make it lower? Your similarity index will appear in the Moodle. You can resubmit your assignment multiple times. However, from the second submission onwards, generation of the similarity report will take more than 24 hours. You must also stop adjusting or keep resubmitting your assignment at least 2 hours before the submission deadline. You can tell how high your similarity index is by looking at the similarity index percentage range and the color. Please ensure that your similarity index is below 20% with proper referencing to avoid any SAOs. The Student Representative Act acts as a liaison point between their fellow students, Adventists, and the University of Roehampton. They will attend at least one program board per year to share feedback and ideas. The transcript is expected to be arrived around 2 months or more after the academic board, usually between March or April, June, July, October, November, depending on the university schedule. The student services will email you on the transcript collection. Regarding the graduation ceremony in Singapore, the annual graduation ceremony is tentatively held in September. Email invitation will be sent out 1 month before the graduation. As for the graduation ceremony in UK, the graduation team will send an invitation for the graduation ceremony in the UK. They will only hold the graduation in spring or summer every year. If you missed it or have more questions, you may email directly to graduation@roehampton.ac.uk. So once again, thank you for watching this video and hope you have a wonderful time here in Adventist and Roehampton.